reform has got to be prevention and wellness. We know that. We got to change our system from a sick care system to a true health care system. We have a sick care system. Now, if you get sick, you get care. But what is there in the beginning to help try to keep you healthy? One of the first places to start is with our kids. Quite frankly, we're getting too much junk food in our schools. It's time to get better foods in our schools for our kids. Now, Colin and I, last year in the Farm Bill, we made a significant little change in that. Now, how many people know that there's been a ban in law since the early 50s? There's been a ban on school lunches having local preferences, preference for locally grown foods. It's true, banned. So what happened? We got more and more processed foods into our schools, more and more processed foods. But we didn't get locally grown foods, locally grown meats and vegetables and fruits and things like that into our schools because there was a ban on it. We changed that in the Farm Bill. We opened it up for locally grown foods to come in. Now we can get more healthy foods in. So this bill this year, the Child Nutrition Bill, we've got to really think about how we take our school lunch programs, make them healthier, our school breakfast programs, get better high-quality meat proteins, milk, vegetables, fruits, whole grains, things like that in there for our kids in our school lunch program. I'm committed to that, and I see that as part of our overall health care reform, starting with our kids in school. It's time. You know, in 1996, I first introduced the bill, an amendment, to get vending machines taken out of schools. 1996. Well, as you can see, I was a spectacular failure at that one. Well, I finally gave up on that fight. I gave up on it. I don't care if they got vending machines there, but I do care what goes in those vending machines now, you see, and make sure we got better things in those vending machines. As one principal said, we had some experiments, and they changed, and they put healthy snacks in there, and they put milk and things like that in these vending machines, and kids kept buying stuff. They didn't lose any money. As one principal said, you know, kids are funny. They love putting money in machines. They don't much care what comes out, but they love putting money in those machines. So those are just a broad variety of things that I feel excited about, and looking ahead on energy, on farm income protection, biofuels, more locally grown foods, more vegetables, more high-quality meats out there for consumers and our kids in school. A lot of good things out there that we're going to be able to do, and I better shut up. I went on too long. Someone once Colin called me a Hubert Humphrey Democrat one time, and I felt pretty good about that, about being called a Hubert Humphrey Democrat. Hubert was well known for his long-windedness. He would go on and get to talking, and he never knew when to stop. One time he was asked to address the crowd for a few minutes, and he got up and he went and he started speaking, and 5 minutes went to 10, and 10 went to 15, 15 went to a half an hour, and about 15 minutes later, he's going strong. Finally, everybody's getting nervous and giving him all these signs and stuff like that, and finally he stopped and he looked at his watch, and he said, oh my gosh, he said, I'm sorry. He said, I've gone on a long time. He said, you know, I was only supposed to speak for a couple of minutes, and I've spoken for almost an hour. He said, so I really apologize. He said, I got to tell you the truth. He said, you know, the longer I talked, the more I liked what I heard. And so when I'm speaking to Farmers Union, I like what I hear. Thank you very much.